We have propagandists in this country, from the Defense Department to the State Department to the White House. Highly paid Admiral Kirby, Nick Price, Jen Psaki, and others. And now generals who are part of the propaganda. Do you think George Patton or Omar Bradley or the top general, George Marshall, would leave American citizens in enemy territory under any circumstances or conditions, including at the order of the Commander-in-Chief? No Commander-in-Chief has ever ordered any general to leave citizens behind. What about these children and these women? What about the Afghan allies, the men who fought next to us, firefight after firefight? What about the 80 to 100,000 SIV visas granted, special visas granted to patriots who fought side by side with Americans? Instead, we hear that the American citizens didn't act fast enough. Instead, we hear this was a massive success. Instead, we hear we will use diplomacy to deal with these Nazis. Instead, we hear we may, in the future, work with them against ISIS as if they're different. It's the Taliban that allowed al-Qaeda to attack us on 9/11. The Taliban. They have our equipment. They have our people. They have our allies. They are going to threaten us. They're working with the Communist Chinese. They're working with Putin. They're working with the Iranians. And listen to me, America. Can you hear the screams of the people of Afghanistan tonight? Because they're screaming. Can you hear the women being brutalized?
Famine, help! Famine, help! Help! I want to help! Famine! Taliban coming!
Can you hear the bullets in the execution? Because it's occurring under the cover of dark. Because our media is unable to be there. While they're celebrating at the State Department and the Defense Department and at the White House, and while they want to turn the corner and change the politics to human infrastructure of all things and to COVID-19, by God, I've never been more disgusted with my government and the top brass of the United States military than I am right now. Listen. They're screaming. Do you hear them? They're begging for help. Do you hear them? American citizens, they say, waited too long. Waited too long.
Since March, we reached out 19 times to Americans in Afghanistan with multiple warnings and offers to help them leave Afghanistan, all the way back as far as March.
While Joe Biden lied to us over and over and over again. This is a humiliation for our country. It is part of our history that can never be wiped away. And I feel so horrible for our American troops, our real soldiers, who would not have tolerated this, but for General Austin and General Milley and all the rest of them. And most of all, Joe Biden, you have blood on the hands for the rest of your life. That's it. I'm done.
What kind of animals do this? And then all those people sitting around watching it, you know, as if it's a goddamn amusement park. Man, that makes me so angry. These people are sick, and they live in the cave ages. They're Neanderthals. That's the kind of video that makes me say, you know what? Let's stay in Afghanistan for as long as it takes. You want to wait us out? We'll wait your ass out, okay? We're not going to let you do this. I don't care how much money it takes. I don't care how much resources it takes. We're going to sit in Afghanistan until there are no goddamn Taliban left. It's absolutely reprehensible. They got to go clean this up one way or another.
Cenk, just your initial response to this withdrawal, how it's being done, and after so long.
So should we be leaving Afghanistan? Of course!
That's the kind of video that makes me say, you know what? Let's stay in Afghanistan for as long as it takes.
We've been there 20 years. That's insane. 20 years for what?
Let's stay in Afghanistan for as long as it takes.
20 years for what?
For as long as it takes. We're the ones protecting morality. That's morality? Pinning a woman down, making her brother hold her so he can keep the honor of the family, and whip her 34 times as she's crying out, please stop this or just kill me. Just kill me.
20 years for what? What a tremendous waste of lives, fortune.
We're not going to let you do this. I don't care how much money it takes.
Let alone the money we could have used for our kids' educations and for our health care and the lives it could have saved.
We're going to sit in Afghanistan until there are no goddamn Taliban left.
We went there to get bin Laden, who we got 10 years ago. Can you believe that? It's been 10 years.
I don't care how much money it takes. I don't care how much resources it takes. We're going to sit in Afghanistan until there are no goddamn Taliban left.
For the rest of the time, we've just been fighting the Taliban, which is not Al-Qaeda.
Do this. I don't care how much money it takes. I don't care how much resources it takes. We're going to sit in Afghanistan until there are no goddamn Taliban left.
But we wiped out that base fairly quickly. And then for the rest of the time, we've just been fighting the Taliban, which is not Al-Qaeda.
We're going to sit in Afghanistan until there are no goddamn Taliban left.
What a tremendous waste of lives, fortune.
I don't care how much money it takes. I don't care how much resources it takes. We're going to sit in Afghanistan until there are no goddamn Taliban left.
Let alone the money we could have used for our kids' educations and for our health care and the lives it could have saved with that money back here.
I don't care how much money it takes.
What a tremendous waste of lives, fortune, and
I don't care how much money it takes.
The money we could have used for our kids' educations and for our health care and the lives it could have saved with that money back here.
No, we're the moral ones. We're the ones protecting morality.
And the final thing I want to give Biden credit for on this one is he's been right about this for a long time.
The deteriorating situation in the region poses a security threat from our perspective, not just to the United States, but to every single nation around this table. It was from that remote area of the world that al-Qaeda plotted 9/11. It was from that very same area that extremists planned virtually every major terrorist attack in Europe since 9/11, including the attacks on London and Madrid. And our responsibility, in my humble opinion, each of our responsibilities is first and foremost to protect our citizens.
News out of Kabul, the Associated Press has now confirmed 11 U.S. Marines were killed, along with a Navy medic, in the coordinated attacks in Kabul outside the airport there this morning.
Tonight here, the scope of the American loss. We learned just as we came on the air tonight that another service member has died. As I said off the top, 13 U.S. service members killed in this attack.
It's just a giant relief to agree with a Democratic president. It's just a giant relief to agree with a Democratic president. It doesn't happen that often. When we get it, we're like, oh, thank God. But during the Obama presidency, he was the one mainly pushing for, what are we doing here? What are we going to nation build Afghanistan for what, hundreds of years? A, it's never going to work, and B, why? That wasn't our original purpose. So it's, like I said, it's such a relief to agree with a person you voted for. It almost never happens in America.
13 Americans are dead, 20 more injured. Joe Biden has surrendered to the Taliban. Americans have been left behind. Those who assisted us abandoned. There is now a new terrorist safe haven across Afghanistan, and the world is less secure because we are witnessing the absolutely devastating consequences of the president's massive foreign policy failure, his dereliction of duty, his smug rejection to face any accountability, and his utter refusal to admit his mistakes for what is now an undeniable catastrophe and the worst foreign policy failure in modern political history.
It's a giant relief to agree with a Democratic president.